So I'm going to talk about the improvement part, increasing your capacity to make money with us, okay? And the most important part about that, hold on. Okay. So, like, take notes. Well, you know, I got to take notes. I'm going to make this available on a video. So, there's this book. This is required reading. Well, nothing's required, okay? It's only required if you want to make a lot of money with us. If you want to fail or make little money with us, then you don't got to read the book, okay? How about that? It's called The 8 Steps to Success by my buddy Andy Albright, who I was just on the phone with. And he's my mentor and my leader, and I've known him since 1993. And so it's this book right here. You need to get it and need to read it. It's The 8 Steps to Success, the 8 things that we've consolidated over years and years of doing this business that all the top people do, whether they're top producer, top builder, the people that make over 6 figures of income do these 8 things consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So let me kind of pose the question to you this way. If I could tell you, let's say you're a realtor, right? And I got a chance to sit down with Donald Trump, who's like mega in commercial real estate. And Donald Trump said, Alex, these are the 8 things you need to do. This is how I became successful in real estate, okay? It's like, rock on, man. And then I go to another big mega commercial realtor, and I sit down with him, and I ask him, what are the 8 top things you do that have really spelled out the success in your life? So he gave me 8 things. And then I go to another person. And so I consolidated the top 8 things successful people do in order to make over 6 figures a year, okay? So if I could put a list like that and you're a realtor, I said, would you like to know what those are? What are you going to say? No? If you're trying to start out in commercial real estate, and I got the top 8 things that the gazillionaires in real estate, commercial real estate do, when you want to know what those are, you'd probably be sitting at the edge of your seat, like with your notepad, right, trying to make the notes. Gang, this is what the top people do in our company that make over 6 figures a year. If you measure success by income, okay, consistently, okay, they're not perfect at all of it. You know, like all 8 things, if you do 25% in all 8, you're much better off than someone who does 100% and only 7, okay? You have to do each of them before you're even in the room to start talking about income, all right? You can, if you want a shortcut, this is the shortcut, because this isn't the top 80 things you got to do. This is not the top 25 things. The shortcut is the top 8. So we already made the shortcut for you. These are the 8 things, not the 18 things, okay? So I'm going to lay out and give you kind of the structure of it so you can kind of put it in context for yourself. So these, in essence, are the 8 things that our top people in our company and across other companies, because this is common among other industries, okay? So this is not just in ours, but in the Alliance, in Abuyuan Financial Group, these are what people do to become successful and make over 6 figures of income, all right? So personal use, work, they listen, they read, they attend all meetings, they're teachable, accountable, and they communicate with a positive mental attitude, all right? So let me kind of break down kind of why they are where they are and what they really, so if you look at these 2, so kind of break it out kind of in these sections. Okay? This is the do part. All right? This is This is the improvement part. And this is B. It's more like an attitude part. Of course, all of them affect your attitude, but this is what you want to be. Okay? So you have to do. Wish I had a short word for this. Anyway, let's talk about them. Of course, they're in this book, so you need to read this book. This is the Bible for the 8 Steps to Success that Andy Albright wrote. Okay, so I'm going to just give you generally my spin on it so that you understand how I approach this. Okay. There's actually biblical stuff in each one of these. I can quote scripture on each one. I'm not going to. I might do a biblical version of the 8 Steps to Success, but let's just keep this secular for now. Okay, let's talk about personal use. This is the do part. This is the stuff you have to do. You physically have to do these things. And personal use is, if you're in life insurance, you should own your own life insurance policy. Can you imagine if you're a life insurance agent and you don't own your own life insurance policy? And there have been situations over the years where an agent has died and had 0 life insurance to protect their families. Is that insane? That you don't have what you're selling to other people, okay? A good cook eats their own cooking, right? So you need to eat your own cooking. You need to have your own policy. And you really need to have one of your policies has to be with us, I believe, because it's kind of like if you own a Chevy dealership, but you drive in a Mercedes, how credible are you that you own a dealership that sells Chevrolets and you drive a Mercedes? Okay, there's a lot of hypocrisy involved in that, which makes you, like, to me, a Pharisee or Sadducee, where you take the place at the highest spot at the highest seat in the table when you don't actually do what it is you're preaching. Like, to me, it's the height of the hypocrisy that you don't own a policy on yourself from one of our companies. All right? The first thing I did when I got in the business, when I got licensed, first thing I did was I wrote a policy on myself. And I wrote it on Christmas Eve because I got my license like a week before. I wrote it on Christmas Eve because it was a gift to my family, because it was the gift of my attitude and my commitment that I am doing this business and I'm going to be credible. And in our sales system, I actually pull out my policy to show them an example of a policy. Okay, I don't show them a specimen policy. Because when I show a specimen policy, everyone's going to want to go to the bathroom. All right, specimen. No, it's Alex Abian's policy for my family. And I show them what their policy is going to look like, because it's going to look like mine. Do you see how powerful closing technique that is? Okay, these are all optional. You do whatever you want to do. All I'm telling you is what our top people have done and continue to do. I own, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of policies for my family, for my children, my wife. I believe in it. I think Cynthia Brandt, those policies, I think she wrote on her kids. You gotta believe in what you're selling, man. If you can't overcome your own objections on buying your own life insurance policy, how the heck are you going to, with any conviction and with any integrity, overcome someone else's? Like, how dare you try to help someone when you haven't even helped yourself and your family? All right. So that's personal use. Hope that makes sense. That's a do thing, but it affects your attitude. All these affect your attitude. Okay, it's integrity. Now, work. This business takes work. That's the 4-letter word in our business, is that it takes work. And we're going to guide you with the proper work that you need to do to put in. But you just heard from Andrew. Man, that guy works, man. He's in 3 states sometimes. He's a driving machine to go to areas where he can run leads. Now, if you're like sitting fat, dumb, and happy in your own county with plenty of leads, then you don't even have an excuse, okay? But Andrews, man, he's in the car because he lives in, he doesn't live he doesn't live at the end of the earth, but he can see it from where he lives. Okay. Anyway, sorry, Andrew. But he's got to go where the leads are, baby, and he does it. So work. You got to do what we're teaching. All the stuff that we teach you, all the other things here, if you don't back it up with work, is nothing. You can have a great positive mental attitude, right? But if you don't back it by work, you're going to be broke, positively, mentally, attitudinally, excited about being broke. You got to put in the dials. Like Andrew said, you got to get on the phone. Nothing happens unless you get on the phone. Whether it's selling insurance or recruiting and building your agency, it all starts on the phone, all right? So work. We're going to teach you that you got to, minimum wage, you got to do 200, $250 a week. Okay, you don't need 250 leads. $250 a week to book 10 to 15 appointments, depending on what your goals are, of course. But you got to be committed to like mashing the phone at least 250 times a week. That's the kind of work we're talking about. Okay, then going out and seeing the people, going out and doing what you need to do that we're recommending. Now, look, remember the part where I don't make money until you make money. So that part, I would never recommend for you to do anything that you aren't going to maximize your income with. I have a vested interest in you to help you and recommend to you what you need to do to make your financial goals, right? But if I don't help you, I don't help me. So it's all motivated by helping you so I can help my family, all right? So work. Make the dials, go out and see the people, do the ERS. Okay, so you got to do the ERS referral system. You got to do the green sheet annuity process, right? You got to see if that person might be interested in maybe doing what we're doing. You do the whole ATM, the entire ATM from page 1 to page 16. Every slide is there for a reason, all right? So that's part of work. So that's the do. So let's talk about increasing your capacity to earn income with us. It's the law of the lid. Right now, as you sit today, you only have a certain capacity to make income. The question of you realizing that capacity will depend on what you do and how you do it with the proper attitude. But you only can go so far. It's the law of lid. And basically the law of lid is the analogy that if you put fleas in a jar and you put a lid on it, right, they're going to jump and hit their heads on the lid. And then they're going to learn that, ouch, that hurts. Jump up, ouch, that hurts. Then you're going to learn to jump just where it won't hurt anymore. It's only going to go up so far. So when you unscrew the lid and take it off, they've totally conditioned themselves that they can't jump any higher than the lid, so they never jump out of the jar, all right? In many ways, that's how we are, is that we've put a lid on our capacity to earn income based on what everyone has said about you, based on what you think about yourself. It's based on your failures in the past that are holding you back. It's based on all those things, the people that said you couldn't do it, all the crap you went through in your life, all the negative has told you that you are only worth this much as far as your self-image. Well, Alex, I've never made 6 figures before. Immediately by saying that, you won't make 6 figures because you said you have never done it, right? And so the next 3 is designed for you to unscrew the lid, pull it off, and for you to realize that your capacity to create income is unabounding, right? You can make as much money with us as you want. I'm talking 7 figures of income, which I've done myself, right? And it's like, now, people do make 7 figures of income, okay? It just takes them 30 years to do it. Okay, we're talking about making 7 figures in 1 year, in 12 months. We now, January 1st, baby. Now, everyone has the opportunity to make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, okay? Our previous promotion system for builders, it would have been really hard to make multiple 7 figures. You know, people were just happy to making 1 or 2 million. It's kind of weird to say that. Now, seriously, $2 to $3 million a year is possible in a reasonable amount of time if you put the work in, okay? But it doesn't matter what the new promotion system looks like unless you yourself think that you have the capacity to do it. And how that capacity is grown is by growing your self-image, growing your ability to believe that you can make the kind of money that you think you and your family deserve. You've never made that much before. You know what? We're going to increase your capacity to believe that you can do it. And when you can increase your capacity to believe, you can achieve it. It can be something that you can do, no doubt. Katie lock the door. You can count it like a Michael Jordan jump shot. Okay. Okay, for some of you young people, Michael Jordan was the best basketball player in the history of basketball. I saw him play in the Cleveland Cavaliers his last year playing basketball. And man, it was awesome to see that guy there. But you can count on it. So the next three is listen, read, and attend all meetings. This is the part of increasing your capacity and your ability to create income by doing these simple things that you can do a little bit every day, a little bit every week. So what are we talking about as far as listening? Listening to learn, listening to grow, listening to change. It's not listening to respond. Do you have people that you've ever had arguments with where they're only listening so they can make a response to you? Okay? This listening is about leaning in. And you'll hear Andy talk about leaning in. When someone's leaning in, you are interested, you're engaged, you're taking notes. You want to grow and you want to improve. We're talking about active listening, listening to learn, listening to grow, listening to suck out every bit of what you're hearing into something that will change your life, okay? How many people hear but never listen, right? How many people hear but never listen? You know what I'm talking about. You know your spouse. You tell your spouse something. Did they hear you or were they listening to you? How many times my poor wife has to repeat herself because she knows I heard her but didn't listen? Oh, man, you know. So the other things that we emphasize in listening is putting the good stuff in your head. See, the negative stuff all your life is still in your brain. You don't forget any negative that has ever happened to you. Okay? It stays with you and it pulls you down. The only way that you can overcome negative is by pouring in positive stuff in your head so that you can grow and benefit from getting rid and washing out all the crap. The analogy I like to use is if you got like 10 people in a line with a glass, half a glass of water, okay? And so person number one, you pour in a little bit of dye, like red dye, like a lot of red dye. So it's like pure red. So that water's red, okay? And so the first person pours and fills the second person's glass up, and now it's not as red because there's half a glass of fresh water. And then that second person pours it into person number three, it's less red. Number four, it's even more clear. Number five, by the time you get to number 10, it's a clear glass of water. You cannot detect any red dye. But you get the first person, you put it together, it's like, what happened? What happened was he kept pouring in and introducing clear, fresh water. And that's what listening, putting audio in your head. And so we have this thing called the Alliance Media app. And when you go through your training, you're going to be able to get this. And the Alliance Media app has every single audio that Andy Albright, well, most, that Andy Albright's done from the TWCs, from the different conference calls, that you can put in your head. So instead of turning on the radio, put this in your earbuds, plug this into your car, be listening to the good stuff when you wake up, when you go to bed. Man, it'll get rid of all the fear and doubt, and you're dousing all that negative with positive stuff. It works. I know I've been doing this since I got into another business in 1991. So, man, I've been doing this for years and years, and I know how powerful it is. When you're feeling like crap, when you hear encouraging words by learning something and hearing someone's story, you can't but help change your mindset and attitude. So again, everything affects your attitude. All this is attitude affectors, okay? Reading. Man, I could go on each one of these. I got to hurry. Read. So listening is a passive mode of learning. Reading is an active mode of learning because not only are you involving your sense of visual sense, but you're also in your mind, you're kind of repeating the words, which actually slows you down, okay? But you kind of repeat it in your head, right? There's something active about reading a book. You know, I know you can do books on tape, and I encourage that as well. But also there's something magic about reading something. Like here's my Millionaire Maker Manual. And you see I've got this like highlighted. I've got little tabs in here because this is a study book. So I read it to study, right? I read it to learn. I read it to grow. And what we recommend is 15 minutes before you go to bed at night, reading something good, something positive. Now, where do you find that? It's in this book, 8 Steps to Success, page 79 on this edition. Starts the chapter. Page 86, where it has all the starter books you need to read. We've all read these books that have been in the business long enough. You need to read these books. Read and Go Rich by Burke Hedges. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'll Raise Myself from Failure to Success in Sailing, Frank Bettger. Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell. The Go-Getter by Peter Kine. These are quick reads. A lot of them are thin books. But you'll never catch up to the big income earners unless you've gone through all these. So don't be like Googling self-help books or going into Barnes and Nobles and going to the self-help section. That won't help you with us. That might help you generally, but will help you with us is getting these books. And then you got to start off with Andy's books. And gosh, I have that other book here. Inside the Circle book. I don't believe I don't have that. I have it somewhere. Inside the Circle. There are 3 books that you got to start with. Okay, those are the books. 15 minutes a night. That's all you need. And it doesn't even have to be at night. We recommend at night because you wake up thinking about the stuff you read before you went to bed. That's kind of the subconscious working. But if you can sneak in a couple, 3 minutes here, a couple minutes, 3 minutes there. If you're on the ceramic throne, a couple, 3 minutes, you're doing that. Sneaking in the reading so it accumulates in your brain. Reading is so important. It's probably one of the hardest ones anyone does consistently. But you got to get into the reading habit. Leaders are readers. Attend all meetings. This is where you get live interaction with live agents. And there's something about being with somebody, right? And I'm talking specifically the hotspot meetings. So we've got hotspot meetings that you can attend, all right? So these are hotspot meetings. Okay, if you are within driving distance of a hotspot meeting, you need to go there because you need to get around the people that will encourage you, uplift you, and become your team, become your family, the people that will encourage you. And then when you've got a great week going on, you can go in there and encourage them. You either need a hotspot meeting or the hotspot meeting needs you. We're a team, we're a family, and this is how we grow a huge business, by supporting our hotspot meetings. And then don't let the meeting be a meeting that you just passively participate in. If you need to learn how to overcome objections on the phone, you need to go to that hotspot meeting to ask the question. Let the meeting agenda be conformed to what your needs are, not what the guest speaker is. The guest speaker is going to kind of guess maybe what y'all need, but unless you go up to them or ask a question, raise your hand, say, hey, how do I handle objections on the phone? They will cover that, I promise. They're going to help you. Let the meeting get them from the meeting what you need out of it by asking questions. You got to be an active participant. So you got hotspot meetings. We got National Convention and Family Reunion. We got 2 major conferences a year. National Convention, Family Reunion. National Convention's in January. I think it's the 23rd of January coming up. And it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. at Alliance headquarters in Burlington, North Carolina. So you need to put that on your calendar. And then family reunions usually in July, somewhere one of the weekends in July, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning in July. National conferences. We got people from Hawaii flying out to those national conferences. Okay, you got to be there. I mean, it's optional, but you need to be there if you want to make money with us, big money with us. If you want to make little money, then you don't have to go. Okay, it's optional. But if you really are serious about wanting to build a future with us, then national conferences are where it's at. We have another interim conference called Instant Thunder. These are more intimate. These are usually held in the spring and in the fall, where you might have a couple hundred people showing up. It's small. The big functions are 1,000, 1,500 people. The Instant Thunder are just more intimate. You can learn so much more. And top producers around the country, you could sit and have a meal with them and ask them, drill them with questions. All the people you've heard on the conference calls. So these are the live meetings that you need to attend if you want to make big money with us. Then we have the conference calls. I mentioned them already. The TWC, the product call on Thursdays, the Friday activity call, okay? And then you have maybe your managers call, your agency managers call, like what we're doing right now, all right? And so, again, you need to plug in, get on Zoom. If it's a Zoom podcast or Zoomcast, so you can watch it on your computer, listen to it on the road on your phone. I attend all of them because I get something from each one of them. And the product call, a lot of times, it's not just product, it's sales technique. Like a lot of them, like half of them or more than half, go into sales techniques. So it's not purely a product call, it's more like a product and sales call. Now, sometimes you're going to have Gina Hawks talk about product on this call, okay? But TWC, 12:30 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. The product call is 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays. The activity call is 10 a.m. Friday Eastern Time. And then, of course, our calls on Thursday morning, 10 a.m. So, attend all meetings. It's there for a reason. The one you miss is the one you should have been at, I promise you. And you're going to pick up nuggets. See, the business is a business of putting puzzle pieces together, right? You know how you put a puzzle piece together? You start off with the edges, okay? So the edges are the basics, okay? Like just telling you what these are, you put the edges of your puzzle in, okay? Then you got to figure out what piece goes where. And so the problem sometimes is that until you put the right piece in, all the other ones don't make sense, okay? But when you put that one piece in, it's like, oh man, I know where those 5 pieces go around that one. Do you see how sometimes one foundational thing you're going to learn at one of these meetings, you're going to start to branch out in other things that you can hang on it that didn't make sense before, right? It's a almost kind of a serial thing that you build. It's a building block business, but you can't put the other blocks in until you put that one in first. You can't put the puzzle pieces in until you put the puzzle pieces in first. And who knows, that one puzzle piece, that might come at a national conference in January, and if you don't make it, then the next time you might hear that same thing you needed would be family reunion 6 months later. So if you want to do this business fast, then attend everything. If you do want to do it slow, then pick and choose. Be a cafeteria person. Like pick and choose. Man, golly, man, don't pick and choose. Now the next 3, these are how you want to be. You want to be teachable, you want to be accountable, and you want to communicate with a positive mental attitude. This makes life easier for you, for us, and man, attitude is everything, gang. So the attitude of being teachable. The attitude of being teachable is not the yes, but attitude. You know, people are yes, but Alex. But yes, but Alex, those leads don't work here. But yes, but Alex, that approach won't work here. Yes, but Alex, yes, but. It's like the yes, buts is your lid to becoming a fully realized income earner with us. It's that attitude that will forever hold you back. And if you look back at your life and all the failures, it's typically because of that yes, but attitude. That your ego is so huge that you're unwilling to submit your ego to someone who has the capacity to help you, as well as the willingness to help you, and the incentive to help you. Does that make sense? So I want to help you, but if you've got that yes, but attitude, it's like, oh my gosh, why make it hard? I flushed someone yesterday while I was recruiting because I could tell they had this yes, but attitude. I said, you know what? I'm going to hang up now because I don't think this is going anywhere. Click. And it felt so good because I don't need any more yes, but attitudes. I need to be teachable because Andy Albright knows more than I do. He makes $1 gazillion more than me. And so I can't have my ego in the way from me increasing my capacity to earn income from my family. So I'm going to be teachable. Okay. Wow. All right. Just muted everybody. Again. Okay, so if I'm going to be teachable, Andy, then I would want you to be teachable for me. But again, it's optional. You can either do what I'm teaching or you don't, right? But remember the part about me having a financial incentive? So, man, don't let your ego go in the way, man. Get in the way. You can always come up with excuses why you don't want to do anything. Do it, dude. You got to keep your thing muted. Anyway, be teachable. The next one, be accountable. Be accountable. Be good for your word. That's what accountability is, being good for your word. If you tell me you're going to do something, do it. If you're not going to do it, tell me you're not going to do it. And tell me, whatever excuses you have. And they're legitimate. They may be legitimate. I don't care. Just let me know. Be accountable to what you say you're going to do. If you say, Alex, I want to make $2,000 a week, and I tell you, okay, you need to book 15 appointments a week. Okay, and you tell me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say, okay, you need to get these many leads. You need to get with Ginny. You need to do this. You got to make $250 to $300. And then the next week, it's like, how'd you do? Well, I only made $50. Okay, that's cool. At least you told me, right? At least you're honest with me. Be accountable. If you want me to hold you accountable, then have the attitude of accountability where you don't run, you don't hide, you're not scared to talk to me because you didn't do what you said you're going to do. We'll fix it. We'll help you. All right? Be good for your word. The eighth one, communicate with a positive mental attitude. Man, there's ways to communicate to me, right, that you're having difficulty. It doesn't start with complaining. It's telling me, Alex, I'm having difficulty doing this. I have the challenge doing this. Can you help me overcome that? No, don't start off with, Alex, these leads suck. Okay, that's going to put me in a really good frame of mind to help you. You say, hey, Alex, I tried to dial my leads. I had these issues. I need some help. How can I fix this? Communicate the positive mental attitude, man. Also, don't cross-line to other people. Don't tell people how bad things are for you. Don't dump on other people, okay? They don't need to hear your crap. If you're going to dump anything, it's with your upline. It's with me. Send negative up, spread positive around. And I'm not saying lie. There's not disclosing. There's having a great attitude. Hey, how'd you do this week? Man, I did great this week. I could have done better. But you know what? I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I'm still in the business. See, it's how you think about stuff. Don't spread negative crossline. Don't spread gossip. I can't stand gossip. I'm a black hole. When anyone tells me anything, it doesn't go past me. I am known as the black hole of the alliance. That's why no one ever shares anything. I'm typically the last person to know about anything because no one ever shares with me anything, because especially when it's negative, because they know what I think about people spreading negative and gossip. My attitude towards them changes. If they're talking bad about someone, I know they're talking bad about me. It's like if they're dumping on me, I know they're dumping about me on someone else. So I don't trust them, right? So like if you got gossip, you know what I'll think about you when you spread it to me. Does that make sense? So I'm glad to be the last one to know about anything. Communicate with a positive mental attitude. Do not dump gossip, dump your negative stuff on anyone else. We're a team or a family. The last thing anyone needs to hear is your junk burdening them because they got to hear it. They're trying to make a living for their family. So you're dumping on them is going to hurt them and their ability to make a living for their family because they're trying to maintain a positive mental attitude. The other thing is you are stealing from that person's upline because when you dump negative on a cross-line person, you're hurting that guy's upline who's trying to help them make money, and he's trying to help make money. So you're literally hurting that person's business, which you have no right to do. Now, if you believe what I believe, you reap what you sow. You start spreading negative, you start being negative, you're going to reap negative on your life. You're going to quit us, and your life's going to go to bad, okay? You just reap what you sow, all right? Be a blessing to everyone. Be someone when you come to a meeting that they're glad that you showed up because the meeting just got better. Be a blessing. When you think about communicating with positive mental attitudes, basically be a blessing to people. Does that make sense? Be a blessing. So that is it, man. I hope y'all hung in there. We just added some more people. That's pretty cool. 8 steps to success. Do this, right? Increase your capacity, do this, and be this. And then, man, your experience with us will be unabounding in the fruits and the rewards that go beyond money, okay? So anyway, gang, rock on. Make sure you plug into my Mobility Car. I'm gonna let you know some stuff, okay? God bless everybody. Rock on. Thanks, Andrew, for sharing. You kick butt, Andrew. Thank you. Keep kicking butt. Everybody, man, jump in. The water's fine. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk to me about running leads. Where do you need to get leads? How do you need to get started? Whatever you need, man, contact me. Let's do this thing. God bless everybody. Thank you.